You are about to embark on the most monumental journey of all archaeological discoveries in this new live series by The God Culture. A 3,000-year gold rush documented so many ways it will make your head spin. The mother lode that would cause the likes of Indiana Jones to salivate. The true land of gold in all of history, which leads to the location of the Garden of Eden and the land of creation. Identifying the rivers from Eden en route. Why is this important? You will never understand geography, history, nor especially Bible prophecy without this restored knowledge of what many will consider the most illustrious realm on earth. Today, we call this the Philippines. Though founded in the Bible, which is the origin of this saga of renown, examine the history, archaeology, geography, science, linguistics, etc., which all converge to reveal what the world knew and somehow misplaced about a century ago. This is a mystery no longer, and now you will know the whereabouts of the lost Isles of Gold. Mabuhay, Philippines! Mabuhay! Yes! Welcome to the studio here in Davao City. Yes! We are back and we're finishing out this series. We only have a few videos left, and this is phenomenal stuff. Today we're going to talk about Columbus identified, and Magellan found the Isles of Gold in the Philippines. Now, this is something that every academic, every scholar should know. This is really so well documented. It really kind of settles the whole thing, and that's why we want to spend an entire video on this topic. Because when you see what these guys said, when you see what these guys wrote, and then you see where they went, and you see what the maps reflect, there's nothing to discuss. It's game over for anyone who wants to try to say this is somewhere else. They knew exactly where they were going, Ophir and Tarshish and the Garden of Eden, and they in fact, Magellan landed there. Columbus did not. Columbus hit the Americas, and he'd be very sad to find out that he never made it to the Philippines. He thought he did. And it's amazing that there are many out there, especially in America, because Americans are so Columbus-minded because he discovered America, right? Okay, I'm sorry, but in my dictionary, in it's regular folk, when you come to a place and there's already people there, you didn't discover it. They were there before you, right? So Columbus nor Magellan discovered anything. Maybe there's a rock somewhere, that Magellan saw that no one had seen. Maybe. But regardless, they weren't really explorers. These were thugs. These were out there killing, stealing, and destroying. This is their record. For centuries, colonialism has the same record, and those are the fruits of Satan from John 10:10. We all know that, so we know them by their fruits. Their fruits say it all. So there's really no other way to look at that. Now, all of these are found in our book, The Search for King Solomon's Treasure, and also available in Tagalog. And that book is free in ebook, both in either format. So avail of that and read it. Read the case for yourself. Go out and test this. I dare you, because if you truly do, you will prove it to be true. You will prove this is fact, because the evidence is too overwhelming. That's why in 8 years, no one has been able to disprove this position, and they won't. Then we have Garden of Eden revealed, the book of maps, and that is full color, high-resolution maps that actually show, and we've shown many already, the Philippines as paradise, the Garden of Eden, and the land of gold so many times, over 75 maps in history, over 6,000 years, where this has been documented. It was not questionable, and it still is not today. It doesn't change just because scholars become ignorant, right? It means they ignore. We're not calling them names. It means they ignore the truth. They ignore the facts. These are the facts. They don't know them. They're ignoring them. And then go watch our series, Solomon's Gold series, available in English and in Tagalog. And there's a lot more detail there. Those are the longer videos with all the data. These are not intended to be. We're giving you an abbreviated position for good reason. We've already proven it, and we can lead you to the proof. So go and check it out. If you're not willing to, well, just don't pretend you're interested in the truth. That's all. So it's okay. Now check out this video. I think it's from the History Channel about Columbus.
One explorer took these separate legends and connected the dots. His intention was to sail west from Europe to find the Garden of Eden itself. His name?
God.
Christopher Columbus.
Christopher Columbus, first and foremost, was searching for a water trade route to Asia. But in the back of his mind, as he went on these voyages, he also, according to some of his letters and some of his documents, was searching for the Garden of Eden.
Columbus believed he could reach Asia by traveling west, but he also knew that Eden was on the border of Asia. On his third voyage in 1498, Columbus made a discovery that to him must have been akin to a miracle.
Christopher Columbus claimed to have found the Garden of Eden in Venezuela, in a place called Paria. He saw a set of mountains in the distance and a lush tropical landscape that to him seemed to suggest he had in fact located the Garden of Eden.
Columbus was convinced of his success because the land he found matched every description of Eden, from the pages of the Bible to medieval legends.
He saw the physical signs that to him indicated the Garden of Eden was there. And these signs included the mountain that was partially hidden by clouds, the temperature, which was neither too hot nor too cold.
When he saw the Orinoco River emptying there into the sea, the mass of water so inspired him that he thought maybe he had discovered the entrance to the Garden of Eden. And in his letters written during that second voyage, he indicated that he regretted not being able to explore it further.
In his letters, Columbus speculated that the exotic tropical plants he saw were the forbidden fruit eaten by Adam and Eve.
Christopher Columbus is someone who I believe was capable of enormous self-deception. This is a man who seems incredibly stubborn, and also someone who is not willing to let the facts interfere with what he thinks is right. Columbus did in fact believe he had found the Garden of Eden until he died.
Indeed he did. Now, this documentary forgets a lot of stuff, like Columbus identified the Philippines as the Garden of Eden. See, here's the thing. He thought he was in the Philippines, not in the Caribbean. He didn't know the Americas were there. So he's going around naming islands and saying, oh, this is Ophir, this is Upaz, this is Zipangu, this is the Garden of Eden. Well, when he named the Garden of Eden, if you look at this map, Caracas is the area of Venezuela in the northern part of South America. And when you go there and you look at where that is on, parallels for latitude, you find out that that's Visayas, Philippines. He thought it was in Visayas, Philippines. See, and that's where the Garden of Eden is. So Columbus knew his research was good. He just didn't know the distance across the Pacific, and those two continents that were in the way, they were missing from maps. Because the 1492 behind globe and many other maps in his time, they didn't know about the Americas. It just wasn't known. So it's not a surprise, and you don't fault him for it. But literally, he was going to Visayas, Philippines, to the Garden of Eden. He knew exactly his destination. He just didn't make it there. Now, here's what we know, is that in 1492, there was a map commissioned by the Portuguese government, right? It's called the 1492 behind globe. And I'm going to go there in a minute. We'll cover another one, too, along the way here. These are the maps used by Columbus and Magellan, according to their own journals. According to Columbus's journal, he actually followed the spheres, he says, and then in the footnote, it actually says the globe of Martin Behaim, made in 1492. I'm going to show you that globe so we can see exactly what Columbus was doing, where he was going, and he was coming to the Philippines. See? And the map of Tuscanelli is another map in that era that shows the same data as the Philippines is the land of gold and paradise where Columbus was going. And then Magellan said the same thing in Pigafetta's journal. Magellan said to Pigafetta that he was following Martin Behaim's globe, just like Columbus, to go to Ophir and Tarshish in the Philippines. So it's all there. And by the way, this map was commissioned by the Portuguese government, right? So just as we have a Spanish government document that's a map, we also have a Portuguese government actual map. It was created by a German, but it's a Portuguese government map because they paid for it. They commissioned it. And we have that history there as well. According to the University of Cambridge, maybe they don't know, of course, but I think they do. So first, though, let's go to this map. In 1490, Christopher Columbus, or his brother, who is a map maker, or was, created this map. Now, some even say, oh, no, it was a friend of theirs. What difference does it make? This has the Columbus research on this map. This is literally the map believed by many scholars, honest ones, that this is the map that Columbus used when he approached the King of Spain to convince him to fund his trip. This is the map, the actual map. So I believe that to be true. I believe that is the case. But regardless, it doesn't matter. Now, here's what you see. This is a nautical chart. And on the screen, it doesn't look like much because you see this full map. But in this circle here to the left, oh, this is going to be brilliant. We blew this up, and you can see in the circle, you see Africa. As you're heading east, you see Sri Lanka and India labeled so on the map. You see Burma, the peninsula there. Then you see the big peninsula, which is the Malay Peninsula. So if you're heading east, you're going to travel around that peninsula and then head north into the South China Sea. And boom, what is that? That is a golden island, golden rocks surrounding this giant island, surrounded by other islands. It's an archipelago, and it is southeast of China. It's called the Philippines. Yay! Labeled on Columbus's map, Paradiso Terrestro, earthly paradise, or the Garden of Eden, Philippines. I didn't even know Columbus ever created a map until we found this. This was news to me, and I'm an American, and we're Columbus crazy. We even have a Columbus Day, right? But we don't know about this map. It doesn't make textbooks. This map was authenticated by the National Library of France, who took their time with that, and they documented it over 30 years. So it is a valid map. It is validly dated to 1490, which is the era of Columbus nonetheless. And even if someone else created it, which it's very unlikely that they even could have, because this is his research. Go read his journals. Go read his notes. We have, and we can tell you, this is his research exactly. He even has a paragraph on this map below that talks about Ophir. Right? Because he knows that is Ophir and the Garden of Eden all in one place, which he even says in his research. Now, when you look at his actual journal, here it is, right here, published, and on page 57, it does say that he used two maps, the map of Martin Behaim in 1492 and the map of Tuscanelli. Now, let's take a quick look at those maps, which he's using in his perspective. This is the 1492 Behaim globe. Right now, what you can see is the world view. If you take this and cut it out and you put it around, it actually is a sphere. It's a globe. It's the first globe map of the world. All right? You don't get more credible than that. And on this map, the Philippines is the land of gold. Now, here you go. You have Africa, then you go, if you head further east, you head to Sri Lanka, India, you see Burma, you see the Malay Peninsula, you see Sumatra, you see Java Minor, then you see Borneo. Oh, what's that in that big square there? Northeast of Borneo, east of Indochina, southeast of China. What archipelago is there? The Philippines. That's right. So in there is labeled Chryse, Greek for gold, same as Ophir, and Argire, Greek for silver, same as Tarshish, This is commissioned by the Portuguese government. Okay, the first globe map of the world commissioned by the most credible source it could be, the Portuguese government. And here's what it shows when you blow up that red circle or red square that we just saw. You see there the gold. It's labeled Crisis or Christ Island. That is Luzon Island, Philippines. The land of gold in all of history. And even on the map, you can see right here to the left side, you see Christ. And you see its shape. You see the little curly Q at the top. You can see that on Luzon. You can see the other hump. You can see that on Luzon. You can see a lot of the features match Luzon Island, Philippines. It is an exact match, especially for an ancient map. Then you see further down, you skip an area which has islands that are the shape of, just oddly, just happens to be the shape of Panay. Another island that's the shape of Masbate. Another one that's the shape of Samar. And another one the shape of Leyte and Bohol. Interesting. Why would that be? Because it's Visayas. So you skip over Visayas and you go down. You see this giant island there labeled Argyre, right? And then you look at it to the left here. And it is the same shape as Mindanao on the top, indisputably, overwhelmingly. There it is on a map. The land of silver, the land of gold in the Philippines. And even if you look further to the top there, there's Palawan. I'll show you a cleaner view. This is a little cleaner. You see this island labeled Thilis. Thilis is the Isle of Pearl. The Isle of Pearl in all of history is Palawan. And this is the Philippines, folks. Absolutely, indisputably. Also, you see Zipangu marked on the giant island there. Zipangu was never in Japan. Zipangu is the Philippines. So this is 1492. Another thing about this map is that actually in the paragraph there, it talks about the shoals that they would shipwreck on. They called them the magnetic shoals of Maniola. Where could they be? You think maybe that's Manila? Because the shoals are off the coast of Manila, and that's where the ships would wreck on, and that's why they call them magnetic, because they would be drawn to those shoals and shipwreck, and there were many there. So you can see many definitions on this map, very clearly the Philippines, nothing else. And this is where Columbus said he was going, to the Philippines, not to the Caribbean. So again, we've broken down the dynamics. So you have Ophir, Luzon, Sheba, Visayas, Tarshish, Mindanao. And then you have 1474, the map of Tuscanelli, the other map that Columbus said he used. And on this map, you have the same thing. There's Crisis as Luzon Island, Philippines. Boom. And you have Mindanao there. It's just not labeled on this particular map, but it is Argyre. Same position, same shape as the 1492 behind globe. All southeast of China in the South China Sea. This is not a mystery, folks. Africa's not there. Right? Saudi Arabia is not there. India is not there. There's not really a question here. I don't know why people call themselves even geographers or cartographers, and they can't seem to understand that Africa is not southeast of China. It should be an easy one. Then we have the admission in Pigafetta's journal from Magellan, where Magellan said that he was following this 1492 behind globe. The same as Columbus. He was going to the same area. And here's the thing. Columbus landed exactly there in the Philippines. He knew exactly where he was going. In his brother-in-law's journal, his brother-in-law talks about these people that come from the islands east of Vietnam as the Lucos, is what he calls them. Why does he call them the Lucos? Because they're the Ilocanos of Ilocos. See, they come from northwest Luzon. And he scratches out Lucos and he writes in Ophir and Tarshish. Wow. Now that was in a French science journal and not a mystery at all. So the Lucos are even documented by Pigafetta as coming from northwest Luzon, essentially. Also, we find Pinto tells us that it's northwest Luzon, De Castaneda, and several others. There is a massive amount of data on the Lucos, believe it or not, because they kept showing up with these giant ships in ports all over the Orient, and everybody was trying to figure out, especially the Westerners, where are they coming from? They're coming from the Philippines all along. They were coming from the Philippines. Now, we covered Colección General de Documentos, document number 98, and there's that map from GMA right there. Not perfectly done, but still valid. We've actually gone through, even in the Spanish, and we've tested that original document, and it matches exactly what this mapping's showing. So it is accurate. The only thing is, why did they go up to China and then back down to the Philippines? Because they were avoiding the shoals. See, they didn't want to shipwreck. So they would hug the coast, and they would go up to China directly and then come down to the Philippines that way so they wouldn't shipwreck. And that, my friends, is what Columbus identified and what Magellan found. They found the Isles of Gold in the Philippines. This has never been a mystery. This has always been resolved, and we resolve it in our books. The Garden of Eden Revealed, the Book of Maps, get it? And also the Search for King Solomon's Treasure in English and Tagalog. That one's free in ebook. OphirInstitute.com. Watch our deeper series, Solomon's Gold series, in English or Tagalog, either way. And we want to thank you all for joining us in the studio here in Davao today. Always remember, prove all things for yourself. Yah bless, everyone. And now, it's your turn. Many have asked for a small group study that they can lead themselves in their homes and churches, announcing the Lost Isles of Gold Small Group Study Guide, a 13-week reference that allows you to lead a group of any size. Simply invite friends and family into your home, play this video series once a week, and you can avail of the study guide of each week's questions, free in ebook, or purchase one copy on Amazon or Shopee Philippines, and we release the copyright for you to even photocopy as long as it is made free to attendees. Or contact us for bulk copies in large quantities. Yes, you can even apply the study on Zoom and similar platforms, and even download and play where there is no internet. For pastors, you can execute this in your small groups with this video teaching, or if you wish to teach this information yourself from the pulpit or in a class, contact us for direction, bulk copies, and we will even provide our presentation slides to assist you in doing so as part of the package for any size church, including mega. You can also raise funds by selling our books. The option is also available for many to host the God Culture in a launch in Restore Philippines conference to kick this off. This will ignite your group and equip them to disciple using this monumental revelation. Just email us at thegodculture@gmail.com and go to ophirinstitute.com for instructions and all the links, including the free ebook. It's time for this revelation to go viral throughout the Philippines and the world. This spark is about to explode. Be sure to tell us about your experience. Yah bless.
I sold three ships come sailing in.
Did the ships coming sailing in bring gold, frankincense, and myrrh to our Savior? Indeed, they were not on camels, and they offered their gifts by the shipload. Deep in the Vatican archives, a treasure was recently discovered. A document purporting to be written by the Magi themselves has surfaced. These were holy, sagacious kings, yes, kings, who originated in the Far East beyond India from the land of the Garden of Eden, as David prophesied from Tarshish, Ophir, and Sheba. That was never Persia, Arabia, nor India. Wait till you find out the Apostle Thomas made it to these famed isles. Knowledge is increasing, unraveling the mystery of the three kings, the lost ancient nativity restored. Get your copy today, free in ebook or print worldwide on Amazon or Shopee Philippines. Go to ophirinstitute.com. Find the Garden of Eden and Land of Gold on your coffee mug? Oh yeah. Introducing Map Mugs by The God Culture, a collection of 12 containers featuring some of the most important maps ever created. You know, we did not want to slap our logo on merch and sell it. So, we figured out a way to give our viewers what they've been asking for. Gear that can be used for teaching. When you have friends over, watch them discover the garden and compare their different maps. This should spur a discussion often in which you can share what you have learned. Available in regular 11-ounce white, or get our color morphing mug. Just pour hot water and watch the garden and aisles of gold appear. Dude! Collect all 12 and make this a ministry with coffee or tea. Just visit thegodculture.com and order yours today. In the beginning, a garden was planted, enclosed within the earth, in the east, the Orient, Far East, says Enoch before the flood, and Noah, who lived there and mapped it in the Philippines. The Bible has always led there, and even Bible historians knew how to read the Hebrew, such as Josephus in 90 AD, Lactantius and African in 310, and in 550, Cosmos, the Greek monk and merchant traveler who went to the Indies, wrote in Alexandria, Egypt, Africa, Christian topography, and he mapped paradise as the Philippines. That map was even published in the Greek edition of the Bible at one time. A 6,000-year track record, forgotten today by illiterate scholars. They have no education on this topic. Let us explore this massive trove of ancient maps. Israel is not east, and a spring is a spring, not a river, and must be fed by a mega river as its source, and must connect to 3 other heads as well, all rivers, and actually salt water even. Can they read? Africa is not east, nor in Shem's far east, where the garden has always resided. Mesopotamia is the occult creation myth of the Nephilim. Nice, scholars. Modern rivers from rain did not even exist before the flood, and the Bible never uses the word Tigris ever in the original Hebrew. Why do modern scholars have no clue? when the evidence is so vast? The Garden of Eden revealed, resolving the 6,000-year testimony marking the Far East. Now available in print only, no ebook, on Amazon and Shopee Philippines. Over 75 high-resolution color historic maps with accurate interpretation no one can truly dispute. Get your book now, and a new series begins.